Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by to check out our latest video. In this episode we're going to show you the importance of learning how to navigate in the fog, because there may come a time when you have to do it. And as usual, we'd like to thank all of you for your thumbs up and your amazing comments on our last episode. Thank you so much.
Like Susan says, all the comments are very, very beautiful, very nice, heart-touching. The one comment especially I remember where a man says to me, "Hey Jules, if you have any proof of God's existence, please show us." So on that one I would simply say that our videos are not meant to prove or disprove anything. We're just plainly sharing our life-saving experiences with you. If you learn something from it, good. If you don't, that's fine too. As for my own personal belief, it's simple. I believe God showed himself to everyone, just not everyone is willing to open their eyes and see it. Now I'd like to say a few words to end up our last video, so it's kind of put a final end to it. As we left New Zealand, we didn't come back to Hawaii for about 2 or so years. And once we got to Hawaii, we both got part-time jobs. And once we saved a few dollars, we decided to buy some presents for the New Zealand couple who helped us very much in times of difficulties. They had a couple of kids, so Susan picked up some nice Hawaiian outfits.
It was the people that sponsored us and gave us the job building the deck.
Yes. The man, I had a lot of discussions with him by existence of God. Yes. Anyway, Susan made a nice package. We sent it to New Zealand. And about 3 weeks later, a package came back. Then was not able to find the addresses. So we were very surprised that, so Susan wrote a letter and we sent it again, registered this time, and it happened, same thing was returned, that they couldn't find the people. So it was very sad. Then we lost touch with them. Yeah. We could not understand what happened. Really. So anyway, we took the presents, gave it to Salvation Army, and time went on. 2 years ago, 2 winters ago, when we were in British Columbia, one evening I just decided to look on the internet. I typed his name, and
we found him on LinkedIn, I think.
Yeah, we found him out there, so we were all excited. Yeah. So right away Susan wrote him an email, and within 10 hours we got a response. We were very happy to hear the response, but we were very sad what he said it. A couple of years after we left, he was diagnosed with a testicular cancer, which he had a very hard time with it, and anyway he overcome it. A few years later, he had discovered a brain tumor. Again, he had went through some operations and hard times, and then he made it somehow. And then only recently, he got a heart attack, and he went to quadruple bypass surgery, and he goes on telling me, "Jules, sometimes I feel like I'm cursed." I kind of felt bad for him, but I also was thinking to myself, for someone who doesn't believe in God, he believed that he may be cursed. But anyway, after we finished reading email, we said a prayer for him, and we felt really bad for him because they were unbelievable nice to us when we really needed. So that's pretty much the end of the story about our New Zealand friends. One time we were watching one of the sailing channels on YouTube, and there was a story about novices who described how they went out of the harbor, and they ran into a fog, and they turned around and went back. And a lot of people wrote them, say they did a smart thing and they returned. The only problem with that is that if you never take an opportunity to practice in a fog, then there might come a time when you have to do it, and you will be very insecure because you don't have no experience. When we sailed one time in the west coast of Oregon, we got a weather report on the high seas radio that a strong low was approaching Cape Blanco and was going in a way towards California. They were forecasting winds of 45 knots plus within 24 hours.
I believe it was with squared seas, which is not funny either. That's another discussion.
Yes. So it would be a very, very dangerous situation. And at that time we were about 20 miles or so from Cape Blanco. We looked on the charts, and there is a fine place to hide. It's called Port Orford. So we decided to hide behind a Port Orford, which is in a coast pilot. It says is one of the best hiding place from the north to west winds.
So we're just about to go into Port Orford, and fog has fallen, as you can see. There's Cape Blanco totally enshrouded in fog. And to the right, there's a big reef there you cannot see. And we're going to have to go in under our navigational tools, radar, GPS, chart plotter. Hope for the best.
Now, even if you have all those instruments working, you still have to be very cautious, because, for example, radar will not show you a rock which is half washed, or any small wooden or fiberglass fishing boat which might be coming from the harbor.
Entering the Port Orford, we just rounded Cape Blanco. As you can see, not very pleasant day. Actually, it's already evening. It's like 7:30 in the evening. Fog just closed in, and the visibility is just maybe 150 feet. We're running down channel towards the buoy, which tells us to turn into anchorage. As you can see, all around, Susan is downstairs on the with a radar, making sure nobody coming behind us or in front of us. Susan navigating us with a chart plotter and a radar, trying to get us safely in. See these rocks?
Yep, that's Orford Reef there, and the fog's kind of semi-lifting as we're going into the anchorage. There's Cape Blanco, and that's where we're headed, Port Orford. Just coming into the anchorage, the sun is just setting. We're lucked out. We're hoping to get here before dark, and we did. Just gonna get right behind these rocks up here. Anchor. So, we finally got to Port Orford just before dark last night, and we're pretty happy to get in. We were tired. We got a good rest. And now they have a gale warning for the next 2 days. That's our anchorage. It's kind of rolly, but it didn't matter. We slept well. Looks like there's a little village up there. So Port Orford turned out to be a good place to hide from the bad weather that came through, but Jules and I were a little bit surprised when we got there that there were no other boats anchored in the harbor, and we were the only ones there.
Actually, Port Orford is very, very interesting harbor, due to the fact that you don't find a single sailboat, powerboat, or any kind of yacht. It's strictly a fisherman's harbor, and every single fishing boats or crabbers and so forth are lifted up from the water every evening and put back in the water with the cranes. Actually, the harbor is very well protected from the northerly, westerly winds, but from the south it's terrible.
So we're out here on the main wharf in Port Orford. There's Emerald Steel floating out there all alone. Beautiful anchorage. Those crab traps. from the end of the pier. This right here is called the heads, and you're supposed to be able to anchor here if it gets really windy. It's supposed to offer some protection. Where we're anchored, there's like a saddle, and the wind just kind of funnels over that. But it's got good holding ground. There's a whale that lives out here. I don't see him right now. I do see a lot of kelp though. Waiting for him to come up again. I think so. Yeah. I can't believe he's right in here. That's awesome.
When we got up on the wharf, I talked to a harbor master and I asked him how it's protected from the southern gale. He looked at me and he says, protected by what? I said, you know that little jetty you got there? He said, jetty? He said, when it starts blowing from the south, a big waves running over this jetty, so you have a zero protection. So you have to be very careful and pay a close attention to the weather system, because if the wind should turn from the south, you would have to clear out in a hurry, and you will be actually in trouble, because you would have to be beating out of the harbor. So it's very safe in the one direction, very poor from the other direction. And also we were entertained by the resident whale, which actually was coming down to the harbor, and so it was very interesting things to watch. We stayed there for 4 days, and after the weather improved, we continue south.
So I guess that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and before we leave, we'd like to say thank you to all of our new patrons. We really appreciate your support.
Bye-bye.
See you guys later. Thanks.